Hello, my friend. Welcome to episode 11 of the podcast. I'm so glad you guys are here. I threw this episode together quickly today, primarily because for so many years, I walked haphazardly into the next year. So I went from Christmas to New Year's to January 1st to just right into life. And there's a huge benefit to pause and to take this week in between Christmas and New Year's to reflect on amazing things that have happened in the last year, even reflect on the hard things and how you got through them, how God got you through them, how you've grown and how your capacity has grown and how different things have been birthed within your life, whether that be a different perspective on joy or on hope or on purpose, whatever that is. But I think it's really good just to take that moment. I also, in this episode, I talk about the importance of celebrating our victories from the year before. And I also talk about kind of the concept of picking a word for the year. And I dive into the episode and I share what my word of the year was last year and what my word of the year that I'm filtering and focusing my life on is this year. As I just try for 2022 to be a very intentional year. There's just been so many years in my life that I don't want to say I regret not having been more intentional, but I kind of do. I look back and I'm like, man, I wish I would have been more intentional as I started the year. And so I just hope that we can take this time, this moment, just to reflect and to be intentional, super intentional about who we want to be in 2022, who we want to become, what we want to allow the Lord to heal in us and to do in us and all of that sort of thing. And so anyways, there's just a ton of grace for us in this season and in this moment as we get a fresh start. And it doesn't matter what you've walked through in 2021, there is hope and there is peace and there is joy in 2022. And that doesn't mean that circumstances are going to be perfect by any means, right? But it does mean that we do have access to this joy and to this hope and to even purpose for our lives. And we're going to really unpack that in 2022, how our suffering can actually be the foundation of actually our true purpose and our most meaning on this planet. And so we're gonna kind of unpack that in 2022, but I just wanted to come on and do a quick episode with my intentions for 2022 in my own life. So love you guys. Let's dig in. Welcome to a Holy Mess podcast. All right, my friends, we all know life can be so difficult and painful at times, especially when we're carrying grief or loss or wrestling with shame about our past, anxiety about our future, or frankly, like we are just not enough. But there has to be so much more for us. There is hope and joy, peace, love, fun, purpose, and a reason that you, my friend, are on this planet. Let's partner with God so you can be who He created you to be as you wrestle through and trudge through your mess. Hi, I'm Dani, a recovering alcoholic, a mom, a wife, a mentor, and dust. We are only here for a moment. Let's live like it. I'm just like you. I'm a holy mess most days. Actually, every day. Let's have some fun and laugh while trudging through our mess. This stuff doesn't need to be dry and boring. Let's dig in. Hello, my friend. Welcome back. I hope you guys had a wonderful, wonderful Christmas. I know that this Christmas looked different for a lot of people. And so anyways, I just hope you had a wonderful day. You made it through Christmas. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's been nutso. So our family, we got hit with a bad cold. I won't blame anybody, but my son came home from school with a bad cold and then progressively the rest of us got it. So anyways, we're all on the mend, thank God. But honestly, it was kind of nice because it forced us to pull in and just to be super present and not run around as much, as well as, honestly, it was nice. We watched church online and we've been in PJs for like 5 days, which is amazing. So, and actually this is the first year I bought matching PJs and everybody got into it. I was super stoked that they were all into it and so excited. So anyways, I hope you guys had a great Christmas. I know that this time of the year can be hard. I mean, also the other thing too, like we're 2 days after Christmas, right? So today's the 27th when I'm recording this and thinking about the end of the year. I don't know about you, but I get super reflective and now in my life, I get really excited. I feel like there's like a new beginning and I get really pumped about the coming year and kind of reflecting back on the good things that happened in the last year. And then I kind of get emotional about the hard things. And I was driving to go get us some lunch. And it was the first time I'd left the house in like 6 days. And anyways, but I was driving and I was just so grateful. Our Christmas could have looked much more different. Like I said earlier this year, we went through just kind of some medical stuff in our family, and just thinking about the miracle that we really are living right now. I feel like, and we're all on borrowed time. Like the reality is one of my friends, she has basically stage 4 cancer, and she's on borrowed time. And she says, every day's a gift, and she's super stoked that she's still here because literally she's on borrowed time. And for like about the last 6 months, I've kind of been reflecting how we're all on borrowed time. Like, I don't know, it's just really helped me with my perspective in life. And I remember many years ago, I'd come to a new year and I would really be hard on myself for all the things that I didn't, complete or get done in the previous year. And, of course, those resolutions that I made that literally didn't even make it till January 3rd most times, and, all that sort of stuff. But I think as I get older and I don't know, just more time, in recovery, or I don't know, more spiritual maturity, I don't know what it is, but I'm easier on myself. And I've been able to journal and be really grateful for the year. And I mean, honestly, just that I just launched this podcast, this thing's been in my heart. And just that I did it, I'm super stoked. Like it was one thing that I can just say, man, I did it. And so I wanted to encourage you guys as we're going into 2022 and as we're starting this new year. And I know some people do resolutions, some people do intentions, some people do word of the year, all of those things. Whatever you do, I would encourage you to take some time and to reflect on what did you do right in the last year? Like, where did you get it right? And whether it would be you showed up more intentionally in your job, or you showed up more intentionally in your relationships, or you're able to receive God's love more than you were a year ago. I mean, where are you showing up? Maybe you've taken a step and you're drinking more water, or you're exercising more, or you're eating healthy, or you're not spending as much, so you're not going into debt. I mean, I don't know where you're at. And, you guys might be doing 8 out of 10 things where you feel like you're missing the mark. What are the 2 out of 10 things that you feel like you're actually doing right? In all of our lives, what we focus on is where our energy and where it grows and what expands in our life. And so I just wanted to encourage you, think about, what are you getting right? What are you doing well? Where are you showing up? And just celebrate that. Like, take a moment and just, love on yourself and congratulate yourself of where you're doing it. And that doesn't mean you don't reflect and you're not going to grow in the areas where you're missing the mark in your mind. But where can you celebrate? Where can you celebrate where this year has just been incredible in different ways? And also, where can you celebrate where you saw God show up? I don't know about you, but man, I have spiritual amnesia and I have a tendency to forget. And it's like I live like an orphan at times. And it's like, holy moly, Lord, thank you. Thank you for where you showed up. And thank you how you showed up in the past. So you're going to show up again today. And you're for sure going to show up in my future. And so taking those moments, I think, and those little rocks, like in the Old Testament, they call them the Ebenezers, where it's like rocks of memory. I think this week is a good memory week. It's a good moment to just take a deep breath and know, listen, a line is drawn in the sand in a few days. It's a new year. What do you need to shut off? What do you need to live in 2022 that you don't want to take with you from 2021? And especially if you've blown it in big areas. I don't know about you, but I'm really reflective of some seasons in my life where I really, really blew it. And I remember coming to, I can't remember even what year it was, 2000, I can't remember. Anyways, I'm getting old, you guys. I can't remember way back when. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not that old. Oh, I feel old. Anyways, my joints feel old, but that's just because I eat too many inflammatory foods, but we're not going to go there. I'm going to work on that in 2022. Anyways, but reflecting on what do I not want to take into the new year? And I remember several years ago, I literally wrote some things down, and I literally drew a line on a piece of paper, and I was like, I'm going to be intentional not to take this baggage, these regrets or this pain or this bitterness into the new year. And it really, honestly, it seems cheesy when you think about it, when you talk about it, but when you actually do the exercise, you guys, it works. I was less resentful. I was less bitter. I was less regretful. And I don't know about you, but when we have deep-rooted resentments or deep-rooted regrets, you guys, the only way to get rid of those is really to actively let them go, right? And the only way I know how to do that is to, there's several ways, but one of the ways is literally to write them down. No one needs to know what they are. You write them down on a piece of paper, and you actively like picture an altar in your mind. You put it on the altar, and then literally you burn it, and you just say, Jesus, help me. Let me trust you that I don't need to take these resentments with me into the new year. I don't need to take these regrets with me into the new year. And, this is not some Pollyanna view on life. I know that we're all going to have different levels of regret and different levels of resentment in our life, but it doesn't have to be the focal point. It doesn't have to be the defining plot story for your next year. Okay. So it doesn't matter what you've walked through this last year. We all have this opportunity to start anew. And so anyways, I wanted to encourage you, celebrate your victories. And then also I just wanted to mention, I started this a few years ago, but I pick a word of the year. And last year, my word was intention, and to be intentional in different areas of my life. And reflecting back, I think actually I was pretty intentional this year with my time, with my effort, with my spirituality, in different areas. Now, there were some areas I wasn't super intentional with, and so I'll work on those in 2022. But for the most part, intention was my word and was my focus. And honestly, I think for the most part, I did pretty well with it. Now, a couple weeks ago, I was praying and I was trying to figure out what my word for 2022 was. And I didn't know what it was until literally a few days ago. And I feel like, honestly, it came like it fell from the sky. Like it was one of those holy moments in my heart. I felt like the light came down from heaven, and it was just like, your word of the year for 2022 is courage. And I was like, oh man. And so you guys, everywhere I look for the last few days, the word courage has popped up, whether it be quotes or even text messages people have sent me, that sort of thing. And so it's been really interesting. I will tell you too, about 5 minutes after I got the word and I knew in my soul that courage was my word for 2022, I had a mini panic attack because I'm like, oh my gosh, is this a premonition? Is this a prophetic word that I'm going to need courage because, something crazy is going to happen in my life? And so anyways, I talked myself off the ledge from that panic attack. And who knows? Who knows what 2022 brings for any of us? But I'm stoked that the word is courage. And so I'm trying to figure out, in all the different areas of my life, how can I look through with the viewpoint of courage? How can I be more courageous in my relationships? How can I be more courageous in my relationship with Jesus? Like, one of the ways I've been journaling through that is like, how can I radically walk in his love and his grace? And how can I shed off some old beliefs about myself? How can I walk in courage in my marriage or in my relationship with my kids or my friendships or whatever it is? Like, how can I filter everything through the filter of courage? And so I'm kind of getting into it. I'm super excited. I'm going to make a little sign up and put it up in my office with the word courage, so that just every day it's kind of my filter. Like, if I want to have courage to live another day well, I want to have courage to actually walk out the grace and the love of God. I want to have courage to actually live this redemptive story that is offered to us. As a believer in Jesus, redemption is like one of the focal points. It's one of the whole premises of why he came to redeem us and to reconcile us to himself, and so that we can have reconciliation within ourselves as well. And so I'm going to kind of unpack that in 2022. And anyways, I'm really excited about that. And just kind of trying to figure out what my intentions are for 2022. I'm excited what the future has. And how do you hold both the sorrows that come with life and the joys and the purpose and the fulfillment and all that sort of stuff? And then I wanted to share a quick story. The last week or so, when I've texted or written Merry Christmas, my spell check always changes it to Mercy Christmas. And I'm like, what the heck, Apple? Merry Christmas. Like, you'd think there's probably billions of people texting Merry. Like, can you just get on board and let it be Merry Christmas? And about 5 or 6 times in, I was like, oh my gosh, thank you, Apple. Christmas is a mercy. And so then I just kind of went with it. And I'm like, Mercy Christmas. Like, the whole point and premise of Christmas obviously is Jesus coming and putting on flesh to abide within us, Emmanuel, God with us, right? And there's so much in that, through theology and all that sort of thing. But you guys, the divine purpose for our lives is this like ever-present mercy that he keeps like bestowing upon us, and that he wants to indwell within us, right? And so I just thought, man, it is a mercy. Christmas is a mercy. There's new things being birthed in all of us all the time, and that is a divine mercy. Like, thank God for new things. And some things are really hard, and that does not minimize our our struggles or our regrets or our shames or our fear or our misfortunes. It doesn't minimize any of that. But what it does is it maximizes the mercy that God has for us and that Jesus is with us. He promises to never leave us nor forsake us. And we may feel forsaken. We may feel left. We may be struggling with a whole bunch of self-pity because of what's happened in life or circumstances, that sort of thing. And I've been there and I go there from time to time still. But you guys, the beauty of it is like the mercy of God is that new things are going to be birthed, and not just tragedy, but like joy and peace and purpose and fun. And you guys, some of the hardest things in our lives can be some of the most rich lessons of our lives. And we can look back and reflect on just the encounter that we had with the Lord and what Jesus did in our heart, but what the human beings that he has put in our lives to do this life with. And so anyways, I'm really excited about 2022. I just want to thank you guys for walking with me and for being a part of the podcast. You guys are so fun. This has been an incredible journey for me, and I'm super excited to be doing this with you. So please email us hello@danisumner.com. Of course, if we can pray for you, even email us your words and we can pray into that for you, what your word of the year is. And if you've never done a word of the year, I'd encourage you to think about it, pray about it. And, I will tell you too, I spent days and days like, oh my gosh, what if I get it wrong? Okay, then switch it. Like, don't overthink it. You guys, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can always switch your word mid-January or mid-July or heck, mid-December. It doesn't matter. It's about the intention. It's about what filter do you want to live your life through, and if you're struggling, with depression or with despair or that sort of thing, I would kind of pick a word that's opposite of that. So if you're struggling with depression or despair, you probably need some joy. So how do you have your filter of joy or even peace or even love or compassion or whatever those words are? And then focus your life, focus your thoughts, focus your being on that. And so anyways, yeah, I love you guys. You guys are the best. God bless you. I want to say a little prayer for you as we jump into this new year. And another episode's going to drop in a couple days. I was going to do it today, but I didn't feel right about it. I'm going to share just a little bit more about my journey and in recovery and being 11 years sober. And I just want to pay kind of homage to the healing that God continues to bring me through my recovery. I'm super, super grateful, and I'm grateful for my community, and I'm grateful for the healing that God continues to do in my heart and in my mind. I love you guys. I'm so grateful for you. So let me say a little prayer. Father, I thank you for my friend, Lord. I thank you for who you've created them to be. Lord, I pray for your peace and your joy. Lord, I pray as we step into 2022 and as we kind of hold the tension between 2021 and 2022 this week, Lord, that you would help us to shed off the things that you want us to shed off, that you would bring to mind the things, God, that you want us to let go of, Father, and that you would help us to lean in and to whatever you have for us in 2022. Lord, I pray, Father, that we would sense your delight and your grace and your mercy, Father, in our hearts and in our minds. In Christ Jesus our Lord. Amen. Bless you guys. Mercy Christmas. Hello, my friend. If this episode blessed you, made you laugh, or triggered you, hey, that's growth. Please do me a favor and share this with a friend. And if you feel led, please leave a written review for the show. That really helps us out. Don't forget you are in good company if you're feeling more broken than you'd like to admit. And you are more loved than you can ever imagine. Have a great week. See you next time.